fan. It's not a question as to whether or not Nick said Hannah was a grenade. It's a fact. It's a fact. But to be able to, it took us a really long time to get to that point of being like, Nick, we got to move on from this conversation. Just admit it. Like, we were quiet for a very long time. Don't want to get involved. Don't want to get involved. Then eventually it's like, we're not being authentic to the viewers or to the experience by like, Hannah's taken a lot of heat. And
hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. I was watching an interview with Monica in it, and she said it's an absolute fact that Nick said that she was a grenade. And the information came from two of the liars on the show who reframe, I don't even say liars, two people that can reframe a conversation in a particular way and said grenade. Well, first of all, Ramsey's actually never confirmed he said grenade. He said take accountability. And Stefan was the only one that seemed to remember saying the grenade. Whoa! And then also Marissa heard grenade, but wasn't sure if she told Hannah about the grenade. Then I want to read an interview by Hannah who said, I'm not sure if he said it or not. So we don't even know if Hannah actually knew. I don't think Hannah even knew about the grenade comment in Mexico. Something isn't quite right with all of these people saying this story, right? It reminds you of the cutie story, right? Something isn't quite right. Monica's telling us that it's an absolute fact that Nick said this, but you never heard it firsthand. You only heard it from Stefan. Well, let's not forget Stefan, okay? Let's not forget Stefan, who lied to you, obviously, as well. Why would he not want to save his own bacon at the reunion? First and foremost, and it was also a private conversation. So somebody out here taking private conversation to tell you about what was said in a private conversation. What did they say about you? What did Ramses also say? Right? Nick could have, you know, I wish Nick would have released a Kraken and told us what they were saying, because then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you know what? I hear it. You know what I'm saying to you? I hear it. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button. I'm going to play more of the Monica interview, but I wanted to play this clip to remind ourselves about Stefan, what he was saying.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
That's what you guys heard from this person and this person.
You're friends.
Yeah, okay.
Steven, I don't want to bring up bro code and any violation of bro code, but I mean, this is clearly sounds like it's gone through you. So did that happen? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the part where Stefan said yeah, but when they asked him later on what the conversation was had, what was actually said, I'm not really sure about what was actually said at the point in time. Suddenly backtracking, not sure what was actually said. So I don't even think there's even Chinese whispers. I honestly think there was some malicious intent here by some of the man them. You know what I mean? But Stefan specifically, because he actually pat away, right? We saw how he rephrased the conversation with Garrett about how women want to sleep with Garrett. Remember that conversation he had with Monica, you know, earlier in the season, about how women want to sleep with people like Garrett, and told Taylor the whole story. This brother is not someone that I would trust with a story, my perspective personally. Yeah, I wouldn't want to trust him with that. But let's go back to the interview with Monica, because I think I want to go back forward to how the conversation actually began. She's got her own interview, which, hey ho, go and listen to it if you want to on Turk's podcast. But let's listen to this interview.
regardless of how close you are, it's like, now that the shows have been out for a few weeks, you realize how insane the trolls can be and all the shit that comes with it. And so there's this feeling of like wanting to just be quiet. And I don't want to make anything worse for Steven. I don't want to say what I really think about, you know, Nick and Hannah. I don't want to get involved. And so I'm just going to be quiet. We're not.
So you don't want to say what you really feel about Nick and Hannah, but you were easily backing up Hannah to talk trash about Nick and say that he definitely called her a grenade when you never firsthand heard it. This is the kind of people that I'm thinking, this is why we're looking at you like you're wild. This is why we're looking at the women specifically, and I'm looking at Stefan and Ramses too, like they're wild. Because you didn't hear it firsthand. You don't want to comment on Nick and Hannah, but at the reunion, your mouth was running like a motor. This is why I have to defend Nick. This is why I defend Hannah. This is why I have to defend Hannah, because, you know, she's taking all the flack. But you don't want to talk about Nick and Hannah.
Not professional reality stars. We're not housewives. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just, you know, being ourselves. And so I've seen online today, obviously a lot of love and support since the reunion came out yesterday, but also people who are like so pissed, per the usual, of like, why did you stood up for Hannah? That was so wrong of you guys. You women are terrible. I think people have been really hard on the women this season. That's my opinion.
It is your opinion, and that's fine. And we also don't have an opinion. We don't believe we've been hard on you at all. I think some of the women have been actually, like Monica, you didn't necessarily do anything wrong with Stefan, right? We know that you chose wrongly, but I'm not going to be hard on you. But the reality is the people I got hard on Monica because you decided to defend Hannah, who was pretty much abusing this man. No, it's not pretty much. Was abusing him, emotionally abusing him. So I'm not gonna have sympathy for you when you're now backing an abuser, right? And telling us, oh well, because Hannah had it so hard. She had it hard because she was disrespectful. And you don't even know when you told Hannah about when we told her about the grenade situation. Marissa doesn't know when she told her, right? Hannah herself doesn't even said, I don't even know whether it's true or not, whether it came about or not. But that didn't influence her decision because she didn't even know the truth. We're not even sure when she found out about the grenade situation. None of you know.
What people don't understand that is to get to that point of saying our truth of like, Nick, this is not up for debate. This is not a question. This is not a people who are like, you believed Steven and Ramses? Really? Those are the liars of the season and you guys believed them? And it's like, no viewer and fan. It's not a question as to whether or not Nick said Hannah was a grenade. It's a fact. It's a fact.
How is it a fact? You weren't there. You cannot recall the conversation. You were not there. How could it be a fact? That's why it's scary for me to hear people like Monica and Alex and Marissa literally be like, it's a fact. You weren't there. You were not having a conversation with them. You're not there. Where Ramses and Stefan tell you, you are believing their perspective. You do not know that it's actually the truth. Right? You don't know. And both Ramses and Stefan are really not great people to be backing to say their word is true. Right? Think about it. Right? Think about it.
But to be able to, it took us a really long time to get to that point of being like, Nick, we got to move on from this conversation. Just admit it. Like, we were quiet for a very long time. Don't want to get involved. And eventually it's like, we're not being authentic to the viewers or to the experience by like, Hannah's taken a lot of heat. And yes, she needs to take accountability and apologize. And
she did.
And she did. But also,
No, let's not do that. Because accountability was washed with explanations about why she did about how she behaved, and it was okay to behave the way she behaved. That apology was a wash because she actually accepted that her behavior was okay. I'm very direct, and that's why I told her, no, it was a wash. That apology was a wash. Call it for what it is. It was a wash. And you backed her when she didn't need backing. She didn't need your defending. It was Nick against her. She did not need a backing. This is what confuses me. It's like you can back Hannah, but y'all didn't get behind Alex when she needed to back in. She didn't need that defense, did she? Hannah was very much capable of backing herself, but you wanted to back Hannah over a comment you never heard yourself.
so there's another side to the story that we've all known for the last year that wasn't talked about on camera because it's such an ugly thing to talk about someone's weight and just so negatively about what they look like when you signed up for a show called Love is Blind. And so no one talked about it, but there was so much there that it was like, I have to just speak my truth. And
so much there, but yet none of you quoted anything. She hasn't quoted anything. She told us, he talks about the weight. What did he say? Why is it you, Marissa, and Alex can't tell us what was said? There was so much that was happening behind the scenes, so much that was said. First of all, Hannah didn't even know. Number two, why can't you quote? Why can't you quote? Why can none of you quote what was actually said? That's why I'm saying it's a bit scary, because it reminds me of the cutie situation all over again. It's like, yeah, we believe her, but wait, why can't you quote? You it's a fact, right? It's an absolute fact. It actually is. But none of you can quote what was said. None of you. Even Monica herself.
and say what I saw and what I witnessed. And so it was hard because then afterwards you're like, hey, Nick, I still love you. You know, it's like
What did you see and witness? No, Monica, what did you see? Because yet to this point, we have not heard what you saw, what you witnessed. You're running off a quote which was done by Stefan. This is what I'm saying. This is scary for me. Because you're telling us, what I witnessed and what I saw. What did you see? Marissa, what did you see? All you saw him do was say to people, hey, we're on a show filming. That's all you quoted. You never quoted anything he said about her looks, anything about her weight, yet you're folding that in. How can you just fold that in and call it fact and be okay with it?
but we have to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been a year. Yes, you may have talked throughout, but you guys have also processed this in a different way where the audience is seeing it for the first time.
Right.
As you look back at the experience and today's conversation as a whole, what do you want people to take away from the conversation?
Anyway, listen, I want to keep it nice and short. I didn't think we need to go on long. I think the reality of the situation is that these ladies have come into a place where they almost wanted to gang up to defend Hannah. And at that point, it's almost as if like the loose facts, which are not facts at all, because no one's actually quoting anything. It's like their sentiment and their feelings. And when you start doing sentiment and feelings and letting it intrude on what was actually said and done, I'm looking at you like you're crazy. Because Marissa, yourself, the only thing that they quoted was 5 out of 10, and they quoted obviously the grenade comment, right? Now, I read an interview by Nick, who said that this was a general conversation that everybody was having, the boys specifically, right? So what was said? Why is it only his comments were actually said? If that's what he said. And him saying what he said, it never went back to Hannah. So what's the big deal? He never mistreated Hannah. He never did her dirty. So why are we trying to equalize him and bring him to the foreground? Both Monica and Ramses are very suspect right now. Monica, Ramses, Stefan, and Marissa are all suspect right now. All suspect. I mean, they were all pretty much problematic in their relationships. It's almost as if like the people that were labeled problematic, which Monica was labeled problematic, the way she spoke to Stefan, Alex was labeled problematic. All the people that were problematic were the ones that were defending Hannah. Did you notice? I'm not saying anything. I'm saying to you, I'm not saying anything. But it's not beneath people to get together and lie. It's not. So I won't be surprised. I'm not saying Nick is perfect. I'm not saying Nick is even innocent. Look, he probably even did say something. You know what I mean? He probably did even say something. But like I said, it's not giving right now. The evidence is very sparse, very loose. And I'm not really seeing where you're saying it's a fact and saying it's absolutely known and true. Everybody knew, but nobody quoted. So y'all were all present, but nobody can quote. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below.